I love racing more than I love myself. And while self-love is important and mine is probably lacking, going fast is more important. You want to go race on a shoestring budget? It can be done. Here are my picks for the best cheap cars you can buy for $5 grand or less to get started in 5 different kinds of racing. Yo, big shout out to today's sponsor, Gunk. That's right, they're a company called Gunk. Gunk wipes are a brand new waterless way to clean grease, grime, and dirt off any surface. These massive wipes are the largest on the market. Plus, it's dual-sided. It's got a scrubby side and a soft side, and they smell like oranges. Tough on grime, but not on your hands. Gunk wipes have better scrubbing performance than the other guys with no scratching, no rinsing, and no residue. Oh, another huge thing I love about Gunk wipes is that they don't have isopropyl alcohol, so the moisture will not evaporate while it's in your toolbox. Gunk degreasing wipes are available now at Walmart, AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts, and Amazon. I think it's a great product. Check Gunk out in the link below. Get Gunk. Honestly, there are a ton of awesome options for these forms of motorsport, and what I'm mentioning here is just a handful of great places to start. If you think you have better ideas, I want to hear them. Drop your suggestions in the comments below. Let's get started. Drag racing. Drag racing! First up is one of the simplest and most accessible forms of grassroots motorsports, drag racing. The sport means a lot to me. I raced junior dragsters as a kid, I drove a sportsman car with my dad in college, and I crewed on a funny car team. I love it. You can't go wrong with a Fox body or SN95 Ford Mustang or a 4th gen F-body Camaro. This Camaro we found for 4,200 bucks. It already has a nitro setup. The easiest way to go fast with a Stang or Camaro is to get the V8. All these cars have a solid rear axle, which is what you want for drag racing. It helps the rear tires maintain better traction when the suspension squats under hard acceleration. There are pages and pages, books and tomes and tablets of institutional knowledge and support for modifying Mustangs and Camaros online. Affordable aftermarket parts for these cars are super available, and they're fairly simple to work on yourself. If you're more into the sport compact scene, the Dodge Neon SRT4 and the 1st or 2nd gen Mitsubishi Eclipses are good choices. We talked about both these cars in our fastest cars you can buy for cheap episode, and they're naturals on the drag strip. Number 2, autocross. Autocross is a great way to get into racing on the cheap. I absolutely love it. You can take anything you want out to your local autocross. I take my Mustang, but it's kind of slow. If you want a real car control challenge, look for any generation Toyota MR2. They're mid-engine 2-seaters, which is pretty ideal for overall balance and handling, but it also means the rear end is going to whip out around you real quick if you try to dodge those cones a little too fast. That'll speed up your reaction times in a jiffy. Here's a turbo 2nd gen for 5K that we found. Other great rear-wheel drive options under $5 grand are 1st and 2nd gen Miatas. Of course, I love the NA and NBs. The 1st and 2nd gen RX-7s, not sure if you can find one of those for $5 grand. And the Porsche 944, get one of those while they're still cheap, because for some reason they're going up, even though they're kind of ugly. There are a bunch of rad front-wheel drive autocross car twos. The Mark 1 and 3 Golf GTIs can do really well. GTIs have a bonus spectator entertainment factor too, because they can lift the rear wheel when cornering really hard. It's really funny to watch, like a little dog peeing on a fire hydrant. I love it. Older Civics, CRXs, and Acura Integras with double wishbones are great too. The fully independent suspension keeps the tires' contact patches on the pavement, so you get better traction. The original Dodge Neon is a super hot pick too, and it doesn't even have to be turboed, especially if you can find one of the RT models. Those things dominated SCCA Pro Solo Autocross back in the day, and they're still great today. Number 3, club racing. If you want to raise the stakes and drive a little faster, any of the cars I mentioned for autocross will easily take you onto the racetrack to go club racing. Independent suspension helps with traction even more on road courses that might have elevation changes and banked corners and raised curbing and all that kind of stuff. Horsepower is a little bit less important since the cars are generally grouped with others that have the same power to weight ratio, or you might race in a spec class where every car is pretty much the same anyway. So it doesn't have to be super powerful, just Good, I'll explain. Honestly, there are probably more classes for the low-powered Civics and Miatas than anything else because they're so much fun to drive and affordable to race. They aren't fast in a traditional sense, so they're considered momentum cars. Once they're up to speed, their goal is to maintain as much of it as possible through the corners. That's where their lightweight and independent suspensions help out a lot. 15-inch wheels and tires are ideal for these cars, and let me tell you, both of those are a lot cheaper than 17s or 18s. It's tough to beat Civics and Miatas in the bang for the buck department, but older BMW 3 Series are also popular, as long as they're not M3s. Replacement parts and upgrades for these aren't as expensive as you'd think either. Spec E30 classes are super popular right now, and they look like a really damn good time. Number 4. Rallycross/rally. If you want to get into rallycross or rally, you might want to look in another direction. The obvious choice is something all-wheel drive that has rally heritage, like a first-gen Subaru Impreza 2.5 RS or a Bug-Eye WRX. Gaskets. Watch out for bad head gaskets with the EJ25 motor in the 2.5 RS. We found one with some body damage for only $2,000. Let's be real, that body damage doesn't really matter because you're probably going to crash it anyway. Rally sounds scary, but also very fun. Front-wheel drive cars can also be really quick in the dirt. You can be on the throttle for longer than you would be with the rear-wheel drive car. And with their simpler drivetrains, they're a bit cheaper and easier to fix and maintain than an all-wheel drive car. The first-gen Ford Focus is a great pick, especially if you can find one of the SVT models. Those are sick. If the Focus was good enough for Colin McRae, it should be good enough for you. He was a much better driver than you are. The Toyota Celica has a rally history as well. If you want to go in a more unexpected direction, pick up a cheap Volvo 240 or 740. Rear-wheel drive is a special challenge on loose surfaces, and if you can master that, you can drive pretty much anything. Parts are cheap and plentiful, and Volvos are crazy stout, yet surprisingly light on their feet. And you might not know it, but Volvo does have a legit racing heritage. The 740 was even offered with a turbo, and they all make awesome engine swap candidates if you want to get a little creative. K20 swap that bitch. Number 5, drifting. It's one of the most popular and exciting ways to participate in motorsports these days, and one of the most interesting since the competition isn't based entirely on speed. Unlike the other forms of racing, to drift, you're going to need a car that's rear-wheel drive and has enough power to break the back tires loose. Something with an LS V8 is definitely nice to have, but it's not really necessary. The number one go-to drift car, the Nissan 240SX, has less than 160 horsepower stock, and yes, they will drift stock. The S13 and S14 both have an exceptionally well-balanced chassis and a longish wheelbase that make them some of the best cars to slide. But truth be told, you might not find an S14 for under 5K. But the early 350Zs are another great choice, and they're starting to come down in price. They've got plenty of power, and there are definitely more of them around than the S13 and S14s. Obviously, there's a ton of aftermarket support and knowledge about both the 240s and 350s, and you really can't go wrong with either. I love the 350Z. I'm gonna turn low car into a drift car. The E36 BMW 3 Series also has a well-balanced chassis and is capable as a drift machine. There are plenty of these out there for cheap, so what are you waiting for? Pick your poison and start racing. The cars I've chosen aren't necessarily hard and fast rules, they're just good starting places, but if you look close enough, you're gonna see some really wild stuff at a drift event. That's why it's so cool. Drag racing, autocross, club racing, rally. I want to try rallycross so bad. Drifting, of course, I want to try. I want to do every kind of racing. Let me know in the comments what kind you want to do and with what car. I'd love to hear it. Again, thank you so much for watching Donut and watching WheelHouse. It's just like, it really means a lot to me, man.